B5 systems, Mlok Handguard is probably one of the lightest, if not the lightest, functional handguards on the market that is capable of being an Mlok reel with any sense of rigidity. So what is it and how much does it cost? About 35 bucks is what I paid for the carbine length. I bought this myself. This is not sent to me by B5. They don't know who I am. They've commented on a couple of posts and videos, but that's about it. So no money changed hands. I want you guys to know that. And that's why I asked for some funding every once in a while, like Bernie Sanders, except I don't have the money to begin with. Anyways, guys, enough of that. So let's take a look at this thing. It is very, very interesting, but there's also a cost to it. So you can see there's a bunch of crap bolted onto the front of it because it's an AR, you know, so you've got to have a bunch of shit stuck to the front of it. It's no other choice. And you'll see kind of why this arrangement exists in the first place. So what we have here is, well, let's go tip to butt. I mean, I don't know, somebody else does that better. It's this is 6-sided with a heat shield, and we'll go ahead and rip it out and see the guts in a little bit. And there's really, really some interesting things about it that I like. It's something I absolutely hate so far. So, yes, you can see how effing small it is. It is essentially the same width, a little bit smaller than the Delta ring, which make it smaller than most car handguards out there. And like the Magpul, even the SL, I have one of those sitting here that I will compare that to for you guys so you can see what exactly is going on with it. Obviously, we have some wonderful sling stuff going on here from Boxer Outdoors. Boxer Outdoors, who they are on Facebook or on Instagram. Go check them out. They're freaking awesome. Omni Sling. It's a video for that. Go check that out. It's my favorite sling now. So, anyway, shameless plug for those guys. They don't pay me for it. I pay them. So, I've got so much crap on this gun right now. And why? Well, the thing is that if you look at how small this is, it is, if you run your hand into a C-clamp, which I tend to do, you're going like over. So you can see like very, very easily how I can go like right around it. I don't even have that big a hand. So this is like grabbing my wang. Like this isn't even that big. But you know, anyways, so that can be a problem when your gas tube is right there. So that is a huge, huge no-no for me. There is a lot of things that the gas tube riding in that spot takes away from you, and we'll kind of get into those here in just a second. But the setup as it is right now, of course, the wonderful, one and only, oh my God. HFT2, sorry guys, Frank, I'm so sorry. The awesome little blast forwarding device there that they make. Oh yeah, love that thing. So there's no 10.5 inch SBR. And what's on the rail? Well, first of all, what is this floppy dolphin thing up here? Well, it is the Strike Industries link anchor grip, and I hate it. In its intended configuration, it's terrible. There'll be a video on that. You check that out. I love Strike, but I don't like this thing. But on this gun, it's actually really, really nice as sort of that top hand stop there. And so that does a couple of things. That keeps my hand, because these are also Mlok slots over the gas tube as well. See there? And that keeps my hand off those last two slots there, closer to the front sight post. And gives me something where I actually have a stop for my hand, so that if I slide forwards, it actually doesn't contact the hot front sight post, because this thing is pretty warm. Speaking of getting warm, again, the gas tube is almost touching the handguard. So we will see on that one. B5 has talked to me and said they've never had to replace one for it being melted. We'll see. So, and of course we have Enforced WML. It's the only way I can get light on this thing. Most light mounts will actually not work on this thing because if you have like a Magpul cantilever mounts, it actually bangs into the front sight post. You would have to use like a straight up like a drop wing or something like that. The Arasakas and stuff would work, but those are 40, 50, 60 bucks depending. And I had a piece of shit rail section and an Enforced sling here. Now, the piece of shit rail section in question is that MGP CQB piece of nonsense that I reviewed before. You go check that out. And I was just trying to give it a home, and really, I'll show you. See how there's like a ramp there? You know, so it actually like dovetails with the WML. So that's kind of cool. I liked it because it was maybe like kind of aesthetically pleasing, and So this doesn't even do that right. So watch. But yeah, this is wobbling on the rail, like it's as tight as it'll go. And of course, yeah, guys, this thing has had thousands of rounds on it though, so it is working for me. Maybe they all suck. Besides that, but sales size of one, I like it. And of course, you'll notice if you're an enterprise, if you already made it past like what is it, the 5 minute mark, 3 mark, whatever, you will see something on that WML, and that is the front post ring fiber optic front sight for CQB, and that is for when you have your sight mounted where your front sight post should be, like for a flat top, not for this. I'm just not taking it off because one, it's awesome, and number two, it's probably gonna go back on the host gun. So you're sitting there like, oh my god, you're busy, you have fiber optic flips. Just stop, okay? Just stop. Do that. Just, come around the corners. Oh, CQB. So that's all. Yeah, it's always late. It's always late. It's always hot. I'm always tired. It always says. So that's it in pretty much a nutshell. You do have 3 slots all the way around: top, right, lower, bottom, left top, yes. And those will give you the octag or hexagonal. I used to play BattleTech. I should know this. Mounting options. So I just kind of put some extra BCM rail covers in there where I tend to have my fingers. Same thing over here, because it's going to get really hot. I don't care what anybody says. You have a very, very small diameter handguard running over a very, very short hot barrel. So, but as it is right now, when I first got it, I didn't really like the diameter of it because it was so thin that I knew I couldn't run my hands over the top of it because of that gas tube. And so I jury-rigged a bunch of different rail covers and stuff. None of them really worked. You can actually put the Mlok like Type 2s on there, but they can pry them up, but they won't come off. Obviously on the sides, you can't do that because just like the Magpul handguards, those are not curved well enough to allow them to stay on there. They just want to pop right off. But I had a couple of those, and I just kept sliding my finger to the front sight post, and I was like, you know what, this is garbage. Let's not, if I'm going to burn my hand for something, let be for world peace or something. So that is pretty much that. The setup there. Again, like I said, it's the only way I can get a light on there. I put that on, we'll offset there. I like it, and just nothing else worked. So other than that, TDI, that Evo hand stop on the bottom there. That was in for review. Kind of like it, kind of don't like it. Check the video out. And then SIG, finger stop, hand stop, shelf in there. And of course, with this being so short, I couldn't really get a good sling mount on there anymore. I had a BCM on there, and it just kept getting in the way. So, of course, taking the sweet Boxer Tactical Omni Sling and just looping it through the handguard with the Kevlar cord, I now have a front sling mount where previously there was none. You guys say, oh, Ben, but there's a sling mount underneath this. Yeah, I'm not putting it all the way out here to just screw up and just burn or whatever. I don't know. This thing's terrible, but the rail's terrible. So, yeah, so that is pretty much it in a nutshell, how it goes, how it do. So let's go ahead and take this thing apart. So it is kind of easy, kind of hard. You will probably see this bounce on and off camera several times. I apologize, but also kind of don't care because, what do you want? So, all right, so first we're going to do is get that sling mount off there. And those are really sweet because they let me I kit out 3 rifles with what comes in the box with the Omni Sling. And you now can have 3 different guns set up 3 different ways, configured to run. So if you don't have a front sight, or if you don't have a QD, or you don't have any room for it, that's actually a really good way to do it. So other ones just back stuff there. So all right, so let's go ahead and open this bad boy up. Like I said, this is probably gonna make me look like a complete dweeb the whole time, but I don't care. So the first thing we want to do is start with the bottom. Yeah, it's too easy because the heat shield and everything else. We'll get into this lip here, and it will stop the top handguard from getting in there. It's really weird. So here's what we'll do. Go ahead and pop that bottom off. Comes right out. Pop that top. Oh yeah. All right. So here is the bottom. A little Metro R or TDI hand stop there. And you just see a little pick rail showing underneath there, giving me that awesome mounting surface. And then the top No heat shield there because heat shield here, it gets pinched when you put it in, and it essentially forms the top row of the heat shield, and only letting heat vent out the top, which is where my hand is. So, cool. There it is. Go ahead and pop that together, and you can see, yes you can, how thin that is. I mean, that is unbelievable. And look at here, you're like, oh man, it's like quarters millions, man. Oh yeah. So it is. They do have a channel for the gas tube here, which is awesome. But again, I'll show you some stuff. So that is how small this is. Now it replaced the Magpul SL Handguard, the slimline that I did have on this previously. Let's take a look and see how that compares. So by comparison, oh man, it makes the Magpul look absolutely chonky. Okay, so this covers the delta ring on the Magpul. This does not have anything like that. So you're basically dealing with like that as their length. Magpul obviously has those little cup, or they kind of end to cup the bottom of the front side base, so you don't burn yourself. And you know, I mean, it's just it looks so much bigger. Oh god, so much bigger. And I mean, the diameter is ridiculous. Like if you actually see these things together, I mean, it's just not even close. It's ridiculous. And so you're much lighter here, but also I'm not worried about like roasting everything with the Magpul Handguard. Magpul Handguard does have completely filled in top there, so that you cannot mount anything there, and so you cannot, you know, vent heat out of there either. But that's why they give you holes elsewhere. So this, however, with that mount, you're going to see. Interesting. Okay, so make sure you get a good look at this here, because you're going to want to see this. See the scuffs on the gas tube up there? Silver marks? Yeah, that's right. You see that? You know what that's from? That's from mounting something in the front two Mlok slots. And it digs into your gas tube and pushes it down. So, and oh god, man, it's Escape from New York. These guns are awesome. Oh man, that's the metal that's going to push it with the plastic. No, I don't care though. I don't want to do anything like that that would compromise how this gun runs to put a new hanger on it, if that makes sense. Like, yes, it's cool. I really like it, and I want to like it, and I hope it does awesome. But I'm not going to, you know, make this gun non-functional by putting a bunch of crap on something that really wasn't designed to mount in the first place. B5 said pretty much that the ventilation on the top is meant to be the ventilation on the top, and that wouldn't be something that I would be sort of honoring with that system. So we'll see. I actually was able to get that strike grip on there simply because the screws are so effing short, and it's not made, well, it's made to, Jesus Christ, Mlok and key mod, so the screws are a little bit weird, and so are their nuts. I was actually able to get that in there without impinging on the gas impingement system. Right? Cool. So that at least works. The other things I had mounted there just did not work because the screws dug too greedily and too deep and took away that space from the gas tube. So that's the only thing I mounted on there because, well, I mean, I didn't want to do the Magpul Mlok covers because after a while they just sort of wanted to fall off, and I really wanted to keep my hand away from that burning hot side post. So let's go ahead and put this back together, and it will suck considerably more than taking it apart, and we'll kind of go from there. So what you want to do, hit that front end there with a lip, pop it in there. Here, the previous videos, this was all done off camera, so we're doing it live today. All right, so see how it's locked in there? A little bit of wobble, but that will actually be taken up when we let the front or top hanger go in. So again, we're going to go in from the front, and we're going to get under the hanger retainer. See this here? I'm going to pinch the heat shield and force that force that front end under there, and then snap it back in. So that's it in a nutshell. So where we also kind of hitting a problem, that is really interesting, and I'm going to grab something to show you. So there are a couple things that I tried or wanted to try, and well, they didn't work. I'm just trying to talk as long as I can to keep myself off camera, so You guys are just gonna get bored and leave. So let's look at, there you go. So let's look at the gas tube area here and how that runs there. Now there is that channel, you're right, but there's always a but. Here's a Magpul, I think the type 2, whatever they call them, Mlok things. Okay, so now I go to push this in here, and it literally will not go because that's the thing that's keeping this end up is the gas tube. See that? There you go. So it will not go in there because of the gas tube. The front end will, the back end will. So that is how close the gas tube is to the handguard. And for record, this is the amount of material that we're talking about. Just little Magpul nipples. So they're literally like 0.0, very, very small. So, okay, so that's not going to work. And that's where I need, a heat shield. That's where I need something to cover this up because, well, it's going to get hot there. So try the BCM covers because those work. You chop them up in little bits. And they work pretty much anywhere. Sliding out of my hands here. So let's go ahead and try to put that on. So, same thing. So, I could cut these down, cut the little claws on the bottom down. But guys, you're looking at this. So that's really not. That's really not a whole lot. There you go. So. Yeah, so I mean, there's really no point in putting anything on there because it would just burn basically no matter how I would cut it. And yeah, so anyways, it is what it is. That's how they set it up. They wanted it to be that thin because reasons. And I mean, this isn't like, a 500, just burning down around its handguard. This is something that's made for, it's made for shooting, but it's not something that's made for to sit there and just, do mag dump after mag dump of beta C mags, which you couldn't do because they don't work. Yeah, so that is pretty much the problem I have with it. Is just that handguard is way too close to the gas tube. If they had it where you get a little bit of a rise, if you have a straight gas tube, this is probably awesome. So if there's like a little bit of a rise to it, where there's maybe like a bump or something there, and don't do this top slot, that would be perfect. But B5, I mean, is really, really good. Their engineering is really good. Their stock's really good. Contracts to the U.S. military, all the whole 9 yards. So I'm confident that it is at least as well designed and thought out and built as it can be. I wouldn't really see them cutting corners just to put something else like that out, but it is to me a huge concern. So we'll go ahead and run some rounds through it. That'll be another video because, well, time is short. I'm a new dad. COVID, Delta, I don't even know anymore. I'm so tired. But yeah, so that is pretty much that in a nutshell. About $35. We'll get this to you. Again, mounting stuff is really, really hard. Mounting a light on there is very difficult. The top slots are pretty much useless because of the heat gas tube and their associated heat. And you kind of have just this right here is the grippiness. But, I definitely like the setup. Definitely feels good. So, yeah, I like it. And, it's going to be mocked to the internet because, oh my God, this is so crazy. Bro, I want to be that guy with all the stuff on the front of my gun, pack box on my MP7 so I can be like your Anthem or an airsoft. So, anyways, guys, it is getting super late. Comment, like, share, subscribe. All these things help. Really, really cool news coming up here. Some sponsor stuff. Can't wait to explain that to everybody once that happens. And, yeah, we just keep on trying to get better. And, yeah. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. See you.